Hello and welcome to a new podcast. I'm Fettouhi, and this here is December 25th, or actually it's 3 minutes before it's 26 over here. Um, Merry Christmas, everybody. It's been an awesome week, for me at least. There's been a lot of snow, and well, it's been a nice Christmas. I hope you all got some great gifts. Personally, we in my family we stopped giving gifts because most of us pretty much have jobs and are so old that if you want something you pretty much go and buy it. So no gifts, and for us, Christmas is not about gifts; it's more about being with the family. So I didn't get any games and stuff like that, but I bought some things that were on sale on Monday. For instance, I got Spirit Tracks 25% off, and some other cool stuff. I found Chains of Olympus for the PSP on PSN store was cheap, so I got that, and some other stuff. Nothing special really. Most of the games that I'm looking forward to are coming actually first next year, early next year. But it's been an awesome week. I hope you were joining in on the Pokemon Marathon from the Speed Gamers, which was this last weekend. And they raised, let's see here, the specific number is, give me a sec, $18,358.69 or 96 cents. Their goal was $15,000. So way above their goal. All the money goes to Ali's house. It was an awesome marathon. They caught all 493 Pokemons in 72 hours, which pretty much has never been done to my experience, and people had fun. A lot of great things and awesome gifts. You should check out some of the stuff that Bertha and the other have wrote about the marathon afterwards. I was personally not there, but I was in the chat and got some questions, PM'd and answered them. It was really fun. Um, one of the great marathons as usual. But anyways, let's talk games, and you're pretty much wondering what games are we gonna talk about since it's Christmas. But let's start out with, for instance, what I've been playing right now. I've just finished Phantom Hourglass, uh, and this is the first time I've finished it. And you're probably wondering why I haven't finished it before. I can't tell you why. Actually, I've had it lying around for a year and actually never got around to playing it. But funny enough, I've been playing instead. For my DS, a lot of the Phoenix Wright games instead. So, since I got Spirit Tracks and I wanted actually to play it, and I thought, you really need to beat Phantom Hourglass first before you can actually go over to switch over to Spirit Tracks. So, when I got on holiday this Tuesday, after work, I sat down and started playing it. So I finally beat it today, actually 2 hours ago, probably. And next up is Spirit Tracks, and I really enjoyed the game. It's fun. It's the right length for a handheld game. Of course, the Legend of Zelda games are a lot longer on the consoles, but you can't expect more from a handheld game, in my opinion. The only thing I had was bugging me, and pretty much everybody has been telling me that the backtracking of the main temple is annoying. It's it's frustrating to have a timer constantly. You can't explore much. You're always stressed out. But I gotta say, I agree with them because it's annoying. But I heard they fixed that with Spirit Tracks. But anyways, that's an old game. You'll probably beat it yourself. If not, at least pick it up or at least try it out if you have the opportunity. It's a great game. But that's pretty much what I've been playing. I have been playing Demon Souls, which you probably heard from last podcast, but I laid it down a little bit because that's a really heavy game. I want to do something more casual, something more old school, and so I've picked up Spirit Tracks, and I'm probably gonna finish that hopefully this weekend. And after that, I pretty much don't know what I'm gonna play after that. I still have a lot of little games lying around, so I'm probably gonna pick up that. But anyways, well, let's get on to news and stuff. There's really not been a lot around. There's more been rumors and complaints. For instance, I listened to the Epic Battle Axe podcast, and I'm a fan of theirs, and it's an awesome podcast and everything. But it's not only them, but a lot of people have been nagging about Dante's Inferno, which is coming out next year, February 9th, which is a God of War clone, and people are well, they are really bitching about it being a God of War clone. I can't see anything bad about it because God of War is an awesome game. It's an awesome franchise, and of course they borrowed pretty much everything from God of War that it could do. Check out the demo for 360 and PS3 if you haven't. But the great thing about that game is it's it's not reinventing things. Of course, it's doing maybe something a bit differently. What I figured out from the demo, you're not gonna have so many weapons to choose from, but you're gonna have more abilities. You can expand and stuff like that compared to God of War. But it is a God of War hack and slash game, on par with God of War. And people are nagging about it. I don't understand that because great game copying a great game makes a great game because you can see when you play the demo, it looks great, it plays great, and it's fun. The only difference is, of course, the story, and the story in God of War is, of course, also a big part of the game and the series. And of course, they didn't take that because that would probably get sued in the end. But they chose, of course, the Inferno of Dante, which is a really old Italian story about a guy named Dante who comes back from the Crusade to his beloved Beatrice and finds her dead, and because he has tricked death, he Beatrice gets taken to hell by Lucifer himself, and Dante tries to rescue her and has to go through the 9 circles of hell to do that, and that's pretty much the game. I'm not gonna. I haven't read the the poem, or it's a poem. I'm looking at it on Wikipedia right now. So, and to me that's interesting, and I think they did it in a tasteful way. The only thing that there's other people, if we go away from not bashing it because it's a God of War clone, but talk about something else that people are concerned about, is that it's the 9 circles of hell. First one is limbo, lust is second, gluttony is the third, then we have greed for fourth, fifth is wrath or sloth, and six is history, and violence is the seventh, fraud and treason. And lust is is the one that people are pretty concerned about because the pictures of it, it's really, well, it's really is the vision of it is really like pornographic. Some people call it. It's, to me, it's just like, it's true to the fact of, if you look at some old art, for instance, if you ever gone to a museum or something like that, and see nude pictures. People call it art. The problem is people are freaking out about that. It's always the same violence that is accepted in movies, games, and other stuff. But as soon as you show a little bit of nudity, even a ankle of somebody, people are freaking out over anything and everything. And that level is going to be interesting to see how they actually did, how they actually composed it after all that hype it got when some of the pictures were released for the art books and sketches they've done and the ideas for it. So I'm interested in that, and I am picking this game up. Um, but you really need to understand that. Um, you really need to understand that this is, or people really need to understand that this is just a game. You really can't just go around and f- and compare it to such many other things that's happening around the world and blaming games for it. But anyways, that's a whole different story. We're not gonna go into. So that's one thing I'm really irritated about. That people are really bugging a game that I think has great potential, and of course, this game is gonna do great because it is a God of War clone, and God of War is a PS3 exclusive, so it's probably gonna do really great on Xbox. But well, just have to wait and see. It's an EA game, and I recommend you checking it out. Uh, on EA's website, for instance, I'm gonna give you a plug um, to the Wikipedia site if you wanna know a little bit more about the poem itself, and let's move on. Well, we have been, of course, hearing a lot about some of the really big PS3 exclusive. One of them is Heavy Rain, and this is also taken from one of the podcasts that I've been listening to, and they are talking about that that the developers of Heavy Rain are doing what they called a prologue and epilogue episodes before the game really comes out that you will get a free sample off when you pre-order it, or you can buy it like for a couple of dollars off PSN. And to me, this is only, well, of course it's for of course it's for, you can say, making profits of a game, because of course with they spend a lot of $1,000s, millions of dollars producing games like this, and it's not cheap, and it's not, and it hasn't been, and it hasn't become cheaper with the years. Sadly, people are going asking for more money. You had the big the big strike and fight with what came out of San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto, and Samuel Jackson was leading that riot. You can call it. It wasn't a riot, but it was a debate that actors were paid too little money for doing voiceover for games. So that brought up a big boom in pricing and salaries and stuff like that, which was really sad in my opinion. But that's a long time ago. But to me, doing prologue and epilogue just adds to the game. EA, for instance, did a great thing with Dead Space. They made movies, or an animated movie, and they made a comic series, and it all worked together to get the feeling and the vibe of how complex the main story was of the game. And I can't see anything bad about it. You can argue about if it's, well, wrong way to advertise a game, that it's going to cost money, or you're going to have to pre-order to get it for free. Some of it. Of course, you could, like so many other people, you throw out a demo, you throw out a piece of it to get people hooked, and they buy a game. But I think the other way around is, well, it's their choice. But I don't see anything bad about it. Of course, only that people that don't have a lot of money maybe not be able to buy it. This extra content that's coming out. But maybe if we're lucky, if a holiday just like this, maybe it's going to be free. A lot of things has happened. Sales, sales for digital distribution has gone up a lot. We're seeing a lot of new ways to promote things. They're having sales constantly over holidays. On holidays, like on Christmas Eve, you get 40% off, or maybe a free something and everything. You see a lot of things about that. I can only say this is a great way to go through it. So I'm only excited about it. When we talk about heavy rain, is what heavy rain is. I haven't really figured out what what the game is. To me, it's just still Silent Hill, horror, maybe a sci-fi. I don't know. Probably a horror thriller game, shocker game, or whatever you would call it, which is done differently, where it's all done in real time and your actions have consequences for the story and all that. I can't, I haven't really figured out. It looked great. It looks great. Um, it it's got a real great storytelling feel to it. It's got interesting characters. The story is awesome from what I've seen, but what the game is really is because somebody's saying it's just a movie you're watching, but well, I can't really figure it out. I'm not gonna. I haven't been the one who's going out and see trailer after trailer because I don't want to spoil anything. Especially not of a game that's so story driven like this one is. So I'm having my hopes up. There is a collector's edition coming out, what I've heard of, and I don't know what actually is in it. But let's check it out. It's probably gonna be no. They're not saying anything what's actually gonna be in it, but there's still a lot of days, a lot of weeks, a couple of months to it comes out. So we'll just have to wait and see. But what we do know about Collector's Edition, we're gonna skip over to another game. Alien vs Predator is getting a Collector's Edition called the Hunter's Edition, and it will come with, of course, a really cool big box with awesome art cover, a nice booklet, of course the game, and not your standard doll you were thinking. You will get a facehugger alien. You all know them from the movies, nasty ones that lay eggs in your stomach. What else are you getting? Let me check here. I can't actually see this here on the picture. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think you get any figures with it. Oh, you get the corporation. What's it called? The corporation that the humans work for. You get a sticker from that. You got that one. Get the same thing actually in the collector's edition of Resident Evil 5. You got the stars sticker, so you get a sticker with this one here also. And this is definitely a collector's edition box that I would get, and you would probably see an unboxing of it. The game is, well, Alien vs Predator is, well, there's been many attempts of making the game itself, and it's a first-person shooter. You can play as the alien, or as the predator, or as the humans. And I've seen the demo, or the development walkthrough for the Predator series, and it looks really cool. I think it's a little bit clunky to play the Predator. I like you have the different visors. You have the visor for scanning normal for humans. You have a special visor for aliens, and you have for heat seeking and stuff like that. And it looks like the movie. I'm a big fan of the movie, the Predator movie, and the Aliens movie. The first, the second one, the third one wasn't too great. The fourth one was nah. I think it was lame in the end. But the Alien vs Predator movie, the first one was well, it wasn't interesting, but enough about movies. We're here to talk about games. But this game here is, of course, you are playing as Predator who's out hunting, and you have different ways to kill. For instance, you can do trophy kills where you actually take the spinal cord and the head out, for instance, of human, so you can collect them. And in the end of this here development, it's a two-part developer walkthrough. You actually see, and this was pretty sad for the game, in my opinion. You see what is born of the Alien vs Predator 2 movie, the Alien Predator combined monster. Um, oh God, what am I to tell about that? I think that movie was horrible, and I think that combining the Predator and the Alien into one being is just stupid. It's I don't see why at all, but it's in the game. It's probably the Predator is overpowered. It looks like it in the game, but the aliens, of course, are probably the vicious beast they can. And you get that from Predator Alien vs Predator 1. You get that feeling for that the man's test, the initiation test of a predator to become a real hunter is hunting your very own first alien, and that's why they in the movie hunt them on Earth, because humans are so easily to lay eggs and stuff like that. So um, that's probably the reason why this bond is so special. And I think it's stupid collecting than making another being, but I can understand that the game needs some being that is tougher, meaner, nastier, harder to kill than any of them. And I really like I'm gonna link the developer walkthrough here if you haven't seen it. That the aliens, you will all know from the movies that their blood is acid, and it works really great because as soon as you blow up an alien, you really gotta look out for the acid, and it takes, in my opinion, a good angle to how it can affect you and stuff like that. So props up for that game. It looks interesting. The publisher is going to be Sega. The developer is Rebellion. I can't remember what Rebellion has made before. It's coming out first quarter, PC, PS3, and 360. There's going to be multiplayer, of course. So it's looking interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to hopefully seeing a demo. I'm not sure I'm gonna buy this because still, if you look at the demo, it still feels clunky playing the Predator, and I'm gonna play the Predator. That's for sure. That's the first thing I would do. But just have to see if they figure out it's an early demo. The demo was shown at E3, so well, only wait and see, as I say. But and of course, I'm gonna show this show you the collector's edition box, of course. This is from Joystick, and it's looking really great. So, another game that's been talked about, of course, and one of my favorite horror games, and I talked about a little bit earlier, is of course Dead Space. And the second one is, of course, come out. There's been some visual teasers for Dead Space 2 3D shot, and it's looking great. You still play as the guy from the last part, Isaac. He's got a new suit, as I can see of this here, and he's holding what looks like a half child, half monster, and it's pretty interesting. Interesting picture. And that game I'm really looking forward to. That was probably the best horror game of this year. I can't think of anything else that could beat that. No. Oh, sorry, last year. And Or was it this year? No, last year. Last Halloween. And I know this for a fact because I was the one who played it for the Speed Gamers on their marathon as a surprise. It came out a week before Halloween, and I didn't have much training for it, but I beat it in an okay time. But this is actually a pretty interesting story. It was probably the worst. It was my first gaming experience for the Speed Gamers, my initiation, if you could call it. And pretty much everything went wrong when we talk about practicing for a speed run. And, well, I got the game 2 days late because of mail problems. The postman was just stupid that day, or that week. So I should have gotten it on Wednesday, I got it Friday. That was one thing. So, 2 days less to play, and there was a week left for the marathon to start. So I was, of course, at the time I had. Oh, what was I doing? I wasn't working at the time, so I had a lot of time on my hands, so I could play a lot. So what I did was, of course, when I got it finally, I plugged it in and started playing it. I played it for one day, and of course it was for the PS3. The day after, when I wanted to do my second run, I actually the second run, I first one I just played through it like I normally would, sat down getting everything in. Then I got my second run, and I figured some stuff out, did something better. When I had to do my third run, that's where things started to get messed up, and that was on Sunday. I put in the disc on my PS3, started up, waited for it to load and stuff like that, and suddenly it froze, middle of the game. I was just like, what happened here? Okay, I'm gonna reboot my PS3, did that, and I rebooted, turned it off, turned it on again, started up, and just like I went to, okay, I'm gonna start it. Where's the disc? I couldn't find the disc. The disc wasn't reading. So the PS3 wasn't showing the Blu-ray disc anymore, so I couldn't boot the game. So I took it out. I could see it was all moist and hot, and I was just looking. Oh no, God! Don't tell me the game broke or the laser burned it or something. So I took a piece of cloth and dried it off. Looked at it again. There wasn't any scratches on it. Anything I plugged it, put it in again. Started up. Nothing happened. I could, of course, play games and all that, but it didn't show the disc at all. Took it out again. Okay, the disc might be damaged. Okay, I took another game that I played before, pulled it in. Same thing, nothing. Then I started to panic because nothing was working. I tried Blu-ray movies, I tried DVD movies, nothing. It wouldn't read anything. So, and this is, of course, my baby, my 60 gigabyte PS3 model, which of course has all the backwards compatibility that you could dream of. So I was a little bit mad, and I didn't know what to do. I couldn't train, I couldn't do anything. So I googled a lot and found out, well, your Blu-ray laser drive is probably busted. So what happened here, it got fried. So all the moisture, all the heat that was on the disc was the laser, and it's probably out of focus or broken or anything, so the lens that was in it probably was just over focusing it and wasn't reading anything. So that sucked. So I had a little bit of problem. So I talked to the Speed Gamers at that time. I told them, well, you might have to go out and find a new player for reserve until I get figure out what actually I have to do. I talked to Britt and Chase about it, and they tried to find a backup, and I called Sony Europe, and they pretty much told me, because this is American version, we can't help you. And I was just like, thank you. So what I did instead is actually the worst possible scenario. Uh, I went out. I actually bought a new one. I bought an 80 gigabyte model. No backwards compatibility, and started playing it. I got that on Tuesday. Played Tuesday evening, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday the marathon started. I wasn't playing then, and Saturday evening I was I was playing for the marathon. And I got a rule for things. I don't play up when a marathon starts. I don't train because, well, there's no need for it. It just have to go the way it goes. And I actually have luck with all that. I played Metal Gear also, so that went well also. So I think I got a system going for me. So that's pretty much the story. So what I did with the PS3, because it was backwards compatibility, I sent it over to Brit. Brit was so nice uh, to actually uh, call Sony up and say his PS3 was broken, and they said it would cost $150 to fix it. And I shipped my PS3 over to Brit. Brit fixed it and shipped it back, and it's working great. And the only thing they did was actually just it just took out and put and plugged in a new Blu-ray drive for it, and then it works. So that's the whole deal about that. Um, Pretty intense week for Britt and Chase, because they were a player short, because they couldn't find anyone who had the time to practice it, and I lost a lot of time practicing it. So, but I did under 5 hours for the game, and I could probably do it without cutscenes. I could have done it on the 3.5 hours probably. At the time, I could probably do it faster now if I trained for it, but no matter. And that's pretty much that story. Let's see here. What else was I gonna talk about? Oh, yeah. Since it's Christmas and all this, I think what people should be looking at is all the great deals that are actually going on. And I'm talking about digital deals. For instance, there is. Let's see here. Yeah, this is today, December 25th, and today Xbox Live is having a 50% deal off Secret of Monkey Island Special Edition for Xbox. That means it's 400 Microsoft points. That's $5 for a great game. You should definitely check it out. It's old school. And since we're talking old school, I think I'm gonna put in a little link for something else. Of course, I'm typing the wrong link in here. I'm gonna give you a link to a great site that's called goodoldgames.com or GOG.com. And this, of course, is also having a 40% sale for holiday. And Good Old Games is a great site because they're selling digital distributed good old games. What else is there to say about it? But their catalog is pretty huge. And the great thing about it, they have upgraded the games so they run on new machines. That means XP machines with Windows 7. And we're talking about games like, for instance, Fallout and Fallout 2, the Longest Journey. UFO. We're talking Heroes of Might and Magic. The list goes on. It's great games. A lot of RPG games. Definitely a big Fallout fan, and it's like right now it's $6 for Fallout. $6. Come on, you can't go wrong with that, and it's 35% off. So, And it's, of course, no DRM on this. You can download as often as you want, and it will keep a list of on your account that you make when you buy the games. So if you delete it, reinstall, you just log in with your account and download it again. So, great stuff. Oh, what I forgot to mention is that I got some PMs on the forum after the marathon for technical questions, and I just wanted to point them out. There was a guy who PM'd me about how to commentate um, over a feed running on Ustream, and you can do it. You can do it with for instance, um, when you have your stream running, you can do what most people do is either have audio, game audio, or don't have game audio, and just plug your or just use your mic feed instead of game audio. Or what you can do is just if you have a Dazzle and you don't want to have extra feeds and stuff like that, you can just split up the audio input for your computer and plug in, of course, your game feed and your mic in, and you will have your audio, your commenting over your audio. The only problem with that is that when you control the volume, you will not control your audio for your mic and audio for your game separately. It will be one audio. So what I would do instead is, if you really want game audio, and I wouldn't recommend it for commentating over it because, well, mostly people have, well, it depends on if you want to give people a choice. What I would do instead is take another computer, co-host it in, don't broadcast the video feed, but only broadcast audio. So voila, you have audio commentating over it. The problem is the guy who actually asked that would also interested in maybe having an extra person outside come in. So this is where it gets tricky. So you can only do one co-host at a time on Ustream. So you can't have multiple co-hosts. The way that the Speed Gamer does it is that what they do is they use Webcam Max. With Webcam Max, you can do that. Is you can do a picture-in-picture, so you can have multiple feeds into it. But as you notice, if you've seen one of the latest marathons, for instance, the Pokemon marathon, is that there are no audio on it. It will be an audio mess to have so many things running into it. But they did is actually they plugged around the mics into instead of having a lot of game audio, just used their mics. They had two commentators on one each input of the pictures, and then they have their co-host. So you actually have up to three co-hosts, three people co-hosting at the same time, which pretty much can be, well, it can get really frustrating for the person who wants to hear one person and the other one talks over it, so it's going to be a mess. What I would recommend is that if you want to have a separate co-host that can come in to talk to you, what you're going to do is actually, again, try to figure out, do you want game audio or not? If you want, do a PMP where you don't show the picture with Webcam Max and just focus on the audio. That should actually do it, and you should be able to control it separately. So that's the answer here for that. If you want a little bit technical, and I hope other people would use this if they want to. And the other one was that he actually had the same problem with. I saw a topic, the same problem with a PS3 as me, that it doesn't read disc anymore. And I recommend, if you have trouble with reading disc on old generation, the first generation of the PS3 is probably the Blu-ray drive that's broken. It's common for the Blu-ray drive to give up after a year and a half. For the old models, it looks like. I've read a lot about this on the forums and blogs and stuff like that. It's not uncommon. The drives were not that stable at the time, so if you got one, fix it or replace your PS3. The last one was actually a musical thing, because I made an unboxing video of this podcaster mic that I'm using right now, and well, the whole idea with this this mic here is, of course, that I can record in like high quality and without having popping filters and pop filters and all that stuff with this. And it works great, but he wanted to use music or record music, and I asked him, are you going to record for amp or just record acoustic? Because if it's acoustic, well, pretty much, well, you can use any mic. The only thing that you got to remember is that there's a big difference for using USB mics. USB mics or digital mics, they don't have the same quality or the same features as a musical instrument mic, which of course I recommend that you pick up if you want to record music from amps and all that. Go to a professional or music store and pick up the right mics for it. I'm not a specialist in this. I have been to studios and set up mics, but and recorded music, but what brand and all that stuff, well, I can't tell you. I can only get you a feel. If you want to spend this amount of dollars for a mic, well, figure out, Google, look at reviews and check out what people say and recommend, and through that get a picture for it. I recommended a Samsung mic, which is a condenser mic just like this one here, but it's a multi-condenser mic. It has the ability to have only the front working, and you can actually switch over to a front and back, so it can be used as a dual mic for two people to talk over the same mic or sing over the same mic at the same time, or it could be used as a room mic, so it records a global thing. It's not recommended for use of music, of course, but it will pick up more things. So it's just to get his needs covered with this mic, and it's only $100 at the moment at Amazon. The mic is actually $250 normally, and his price range was maximum $150. And instruments, mics, and all the stuff that you need for actually recording music is a lot over that. A mic itself would probably cost $200 for the mic. Then I would get a mixer, get some good XLR cables, and then of course you need all your instruments. You need an amp, or just a really good acoustic guitar that has a nice clean sound. And then it's just recording through a program just like this one here that I'm using. So I hope that answers your questions. It's a lot easier to answer over audio than video, but I hope other people can get use of this if they want something else. But if you have a question, of course, email me, PM me. You can do that, and I'll give you my email and my address is how you can contact me later on. But this mic here that I bought, and I know this is of course off game topic. It's more technical now, but you can pretty much use everything. There's no like, oh, you need this and this special mic to record music. No, it's just like people recommend it because they're meant for it. That the mics are built for it. It's the same thing with drum mics. If you want to record drum mics, you probably need, well, probably 4 mics for a simple drum set, maybe 5, depending on how many features you have on your drum kit, and all the mics have different different qualities, how for low sound, for high sound, for high pitched sounds, depending on if you're using a splash or you're using your normal beat drum kits and all that. So it's it's a big world out there when it comes to musical and how to record things. There's no recipe for it. People only say recommendations, and if you go from semi-professional to professional, a studio is pretty much what you need in the end. But buy a good mic. I think that one is definitely gonna help. Has the features that you need, and you probably, if you do it right, you can probably get decent sound of it. I don't think you can get CD quality audio studio sound of it, but well, let's hope. I might actually try one day actually recording on this. The problem is I don't have an acoustic guitar. Actually, I only have electrical, and if I want to record something, I'll probably go out and buy a 4 ports or four line a mixer, a USB mixer, and use that. But the problem is, if I buy a mixer, the purpose of this mic pretty much goes away, because it has XLR inputs and jack inputs where you can just use normal mics that are cheaper and has the same quality as this one. But I really like this mic, so I'm not gonna do that, and I pretty much stopped trying to record music. I can't, and I haven't played in a long time, so pretty much it. And well, that's pretty much it for me. I hope you enjoyed this, and again, if you want to contact me, I have an email. Let's Talk Games at fettouhi.dk. That's Let's Talk Games at fettouhi.dk. And you can PM me at the Speed Gamers forums, or you can Twitter me at twitter.com/Fettouhi. That's FETTOUHI. Or you can maybe find me on the forums. Just make a topic if you want something from me, a question or anything. You can of course go to my website, that's fettouhi.dk, or maybe you can find me on a chat in the upcoming marathons. The next marathon that the Speed Gamers are doing is, of course, the Metroid Marathon, and I'll be seeing you maybe then, or maybe sooner. Thanks for listening. Bye.